The super dynamic rabbit of tomorrow.
Take a look at these clips for a minute.
Unrelated.
What have they got in common? They're all made by the same method, cell animation. What you do is, you stick thousands of separate drawings on a transparent sheet called a cell, and you photograph them in sequence against a background. A really long, painstaking job. Just to make a really short cartoon can take up to 2 years this way. But animation can be a really simple thing to do. All you need is a couple of cut-out shapes, and you've got a story. Hello, how are you? Mind your own business. And believe it or not, some people can do this even better than me.
Let me tell you what happened in the kingdoms of Paphlagonia and Crim-Tartary. When Princess Angelica of Paphlagonia was christened, I decided to go, uninvited. As I neared the palace, I could hear Gruffanuff, the doorkeeper, quarreling with his wife. What a bad-tempered pair they were. Old Gruffanuff was very rude to me. So rude, in fact, that I thought he should have a chance to think about his nasty ways. He made a very handsome brass door knocker, although everyone supposed that he had run away from his nagging wife. The king and queen felt sorry for Mrs. Gruffanuff, so they made her governess to little Princess Angelica. Later, I paid a secret visit to the royal garden and left a little beggar girl with the princess. Princess Angelica was enchanted and wanted to keep her. What a strange but delightful companion. The little girl was very dirty. She said she had come from the forest where she lived with the lions. Once again, Angelica got what she wanted. Mrs. Gruffanuff wasn't at all pleased, but she obeyed the royal orders. A good wash-up and new clothes were needed to make the beggar child fit company for a princess. Her old rags were kept to remind her of her humble beginnings. And they named her Betsinda.
One of my favourite animation characters is this one.
I'm going to write a book, he shouted, and you're all going to help. Come on. And of course, Delilah would have to butt in.
And how does morph work? Pretty obvious, really, isn't it? You photograph a little model, you bend it, and you photograph it again, then you bend it, and you photograph it again, and bend it, and photograph it again, and bend it, and photograph it again, and so on and so forth. It's called stop motion.
Are you hungry, Al?
Well, yeah, I could use a ham sandwich.
Nothing's going on.
There's that chicken. What is going on?
It's touchy, ain't you?
You are disgusting.
What do you mean,
You're nothing.
disgusting?
Red,
I
dog.
just want a ham sandwich.
Red. Red. What is this? Where's Mr.
Take
Down?
two.
Red.
Take three.
Red.
Boom.
That was the Will Vinton Studios, who specialise in stop motion animation with clay. They call it claymation. Remember these little people?
Dip, 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 boom, 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 do the job.
Well, when I get the paper, I read it through and through, and my girl never fails to say,
Of course, you can photograph other things besides clay. Have a look at this. This is also stop motion. Stop me if I'm getting too technical for you. Right, now for another of my brilliant demonstrations. See this? Okay, watch this. It's called a pinboard, and some really exquisite films have been made using this technique. Have a look at Mindscape, and remember each movement is just a series of pins being moved ever so slightly. beautiful, isn't it? It creates a kind of weird effect I've never seen anywhere else. Mind you, it's nearly as time-consuming as full cell animation. But over the last few years, a brand new kind of animation has come into its own. You can see it in amusement arcades, architects' offices, on science fiction films, TV ads, on television title sequences. Yes, it's computer animation. Even the title sequence of Stay Tuned uses a computer. The characters are full cell animation, but the title letters are produced by a computer. And how exactly is this done? I haven't the faintest idea. There's no doubt that computer animation can come up with some pretty stunning effects, can't it? Take a look at this. Blows your mind a bit, that one, doesn't it? But the problem is that in almost every computer animation I've ever seen, the stories seem to take second place. Just a lot of weird psychedelic-y things floating through time and space for no particular reason. But then that's pretty true of most of the work we've seen today, isn't it? Great with the visuals, but they don't really have you gripping your seat with excitement about what's going to happen next. Is that because there's something about single cell that makes it a better way of telling stories than other forms of animation? Well, you're bound to think so, aren't you? Or is it just that the great Hollywood cartoon factory was more interested in stories and jokes, whereas modern animators are simply into how the thing looks? Take a look at this Barney Bear from 1944. He may not be the greatest cartoon character in the history of creation, but the way the story hangs together, the jokes and the look of the thing are quite superb. Here's an interesting one to finish. It combines almost every technique we've been looking at today. Computers, claymation, stop motion, live action, and it's called The Man with No Brakes.
To my mobile home. I'll introduce to you one of the furniture folk. He's boxed in a friend's store. To make his escape down Route 66, they got a cell block wall. And in a chest of drawers, he's on the run. Through a window he sees there's a world outside, a road waiting to know. But he's boxed in and fenced off, double doors are double locked, only one way to go. Chest of drawers, driving incognito. He beats his horn harmoniously. Looks like he's got company. Red on his tail, roadblock ahead. You best get out of his way. Nowhere to run, a high roadblock ahead. Got to collide. A chest of drawers without a cord. One word, accelerate. That's your man.